What's happening, guys? G.O.R.E here, and welcome to my Gungrave G.O.R.E tutorial. I just want to start things off by just saying a couple things before I get into it. Now, I've been going around to a lot of streams of people playing the game because I've been really hyped for this game. I want to see how other people are finding it. I've been seeing a lot of reviews really trying to dunk on the game, and I think there's quite a lot of misinformation that people unintentionally spread because they get really bad first impressions of the game because they're not learning it properly. And this can be due to some of the tutorials being a bit lacking, so I want to do like a video, possibly a video series if I can discover more stuff, of just like small little tidbits to kind of help people get used to the game, because I see a lot of people get into very bad habits with how they play the game. Like, they'll just lock onto enemies the whole time, they'll only buy stat power-ups and don't get any of the extra moves that can actually help you. And I just wanted to make this tutorial just to kind of talk people through how to actually kind of get started on the game and have a good time. So I hope that you are watching this video with the hopes to get good at the game, learn it better, or even if you're someone who's just interested in the game, this is going to show you some small little things that might help you in the long run when you get used to the game. Anyways, enjoy. I'll be right through to the gameplay now. Alright, so I'd like to start this by talking about the different items you can buy at the shop, because more often than not I see a lot of people will pretty much just go straight for the stat stuff and not really go for anything else. Now, though that's good for a bit of durability, generally speaking, the only stats that you should really go for starting out is maybe shield recovery, and that is mostly for these skills down here: Storm Barrage dodge shot and Storm Barrage jump shot. Now, a lot of people I see just completely ditch Storm Barrage because they misunderstand it, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But right now, just starting out, I'm just going to get the shield recovery stuff, and I'm going to get the Storm Barrage power-ups. As you can see, I've got a lot of points from beating the game and just farming it up because I've been having a lot of fun. Now, get dodge shot, get jump shot. Okay. Right, I'll be back with you in the gameplay now. Okay, so I'm literally just behind the section where the game tells you about the storm shots, storm barrage, and I'll just show you. Now, the thing I want people paying attention to the most out of this is how fast my demolition shot gauge will go up once I start using this. Just gonna waste that so you can see. That went up pretty much instantly, right? It's probably not a good area to show, but yeah, you can see it. It just instantly went up. That is how you're supposed to use it. It's not supposed to be a damaging skill. Now, I see a lot of people will rag on the skill and be like, oh, well, it's not doing any damage, so it's useless to me. But that's not the case. That's not the purpose of it. The purpose of it is to help you, one, get your beats up, because it gets your beats up mega fast, and if you're trying to go for an S rank on a level to get your maxed out points, that you're gonna need as many beats as possible. But outside of that, you're also going to need your Storm Barrage to get your demolition shot up, because to be honest, it is brokenly powerful in some scenarios. I can tell you towards the end of the game, if you're not using the Storm Barrage properly, you're going to have a bad time. I know this because, not naming names, but I've seen a few people really struggle in the final level, and then suddenly I tell them about how to use Storm Barrage, and they completely destroyed it. It was crazy. So yeah, that's what I've got to say about Storm Barrage. I'll show it off in better effect now. Alright guys, so here we are in game, and This is the first level of the final chapter. It's probably one of the best levels in the game for farming as well. So keep that in mind if you ever want to like get extra points. You shouldn't really need to farm up to this point, but if you do, a good alternative is the level I just showed you, which is the second level in the game. Like, on average, you can finish that level in about 3 minutes if you hurry on through. This level you can get done in less time than that, especially if you put it on easy mode, because there's no real difference to the points you get like depending on the difficulty you play. Like, the points are not difficulty dependent, so you can just farm these levels on easy mode and get all the points you need. Apologies, my throat decided to do stuff while I was talking. Let's just get rid of these guys. Right. Get rid of this rocket launcher guy. If I had like probably my least liked enemy type is these red rocket launcher guys. I think their rockets are way too fast. Like, genuinely, it's pretty infuriating. But end of the day, like, they can be dealt with. You just got, like, it's just a skill issue for me. Now then, that's all the enemies in this area dead, so let's move on. This is the bit where I can really show off demolition shot. So let me just take some of these guys down. Gonna just get my beats up just so I can get a few of them down, and yeah. And that's just 4 shots back up instantly. So generally speaking, like, that's how you really want to use them. Like, just use them for some extra like little demolition shot bursts. You can keep yourself alive because you know the demolition shots also heal you. And yeah, there you go. I just beat what is usually like a pretty difficult wave of enemies within seconds, on hard mode by the way. I just did this whole level on hard mode. Now, that took me less than 5 minutes, but I was taking it slow because I was on hard mode. I really wanted to show this particular thing off. I generally wouldn't use demolition shots and the storm barrage as much, but that's just generally showing you the potential it has. Like, you can destroy the game using your storm barrage if you have the patience to learn it and learn where to apply it. Obviously it doesn't help you in every situation, but that's where I'm going to start talking to you about utilizing the burst mode, which you probably saw a bit there, but I'll go more into that now. Now, here I am in one of the final sections in the game. This is a section that I often see people struggle with, and simply put, it's because not enough players use burst mode. Now, like, burst mode is your combo, this one, where you just completely stand still and you fire your guns out. Now, they actually buffed the damage of this in a recent patch as well, so it's very much worth using, and I'll show you why. That, like, versus locking on. While locking on, like, gives you mobility and it lets you, you know, watch your enemy health while also giving you ways to damage them while you deal with them. But burst mode, I don't see enough people using, and it is honestly a necessity when you're fighting these augmen over here. Like, pretty much, like, you'll get away with it using it on regular enemies, but like, you'll get away with, like, just locking onto regular enemies, I should say. But generally speaking, like, you need to use, why isn't my L2 working? Sorry, my L2 wasn't working. But you need burst mode for these enemy types. Like, if you do not use your burst mode, you are dead. Like, it's just that simple. Like, I'll show you, like, if you just lock on, you're only hitting, like, one enemy at a time, right? So the best way to fix that is by using burst mode, because you will literally just burst everybody down. Henceforth the name, but yeah. Sorry, I'm getting a bit of weird lag on my controller while I do this. It's probably not the best. I'm probably making like a really bad example here, but genuinely speaking, like the amount of times I've seen people struggle with this one section in particular, like even I struggled with it, and to be honest, like I wasn't using my burst mode that much, and also I didn't have like any damage upgrades, so that'll do it. But yeah, notice me like comboing my little storm barrage in there just to keep myself alive. But yeah, this is like one section that loads of people usually struggle with, and probably like the hardest section in the game, to be fair, for people. But I just cleared that first try, and a lot of that is because, to be honest, I'd have more health if I was trying to use Storm Barrage a bit more, but I really wanted to just show off the damage that Burst Mode can get off, right? Like, the damage that you can do with Burst Mode is pretty nuts. Like, I'll just show you, like, what it's like if you just lock onto an enemy. So like, here you are, locking on. Just took that time to kill 2. Versus burst mode. 1 second. Let me get some enemies down because my health's getting me a bit nervous though. Okay, but like versus burst mode, like things just die. Like that guy literally showed up and within 2 seconds he just lost all his shields, and I had the opportunity to, well, R1 him. But yeah, I should really explain what things are. So, Storm Barrage is your triangle attack. I'm stupid. Okay, it's my first time doing a tutorial, but genuinely speaking, like, those are the 2 main tools I don't see people using enough. Like, they learn the lock-on and they just completely hold it down for the whole game. And don't get me wrong, lock-on has its uses. Like, you can hit enemies from genuinely, like, a lot further away, especially with your increased targeting. Like, you can basically be a sniper, but with pistols. But the problem is, a lot of people only use the lock-on. And the thing that really annoys me the most with how people stick to these tools is they will literally like only upgrade their stats, not get any of like the extra tech stuff, and then they'll say, oh, every encounter in this game is the same. And it's really depressing to see that a lot of people think that. Like, I will say a lot of the encounters have the same sort of motion going for it, but that's the same thing for like a Devil May Cry game. If you play Devil May Cry, right? Like, generally speaking, if you're good at the game, all you're going to be doing is knocking enemies into the air and, you know, comboing them and getting your SSS. It's pretty much like the same sort of bread and butter. But because people are because the tools aren't straightforward in this game, a lot of people just instantly think the game's bad. And honestly, like, I really want to clear up that misconception. I think this is a fine game. Like, it has its flaws. I'm not saying it's flawless. It has its levels of jank, but they're actually actively patching the game so that it's not janky. And that's something that I can really respect Studio Iggymob for. Like, this is like their 2nd official launched game, and to be honest, I think they've done a really bang-up solid job. Like, they could have done much worse considering. And considering they're also making active efforts to patch and fix up the game, I honestly think that, you know, they can be cut a bit of slack. And it's not a full price game either. Like, it's only 45 quid versus what's usually 55. So, you know, I'm not complaining about what I got out of this game. Now, I do want to show off one small thing that has been it's not even that it's been bothering me, it's something like the game has never really told anybody, and it's to do with the landmines. Now, I'll just show you, because this is going to change your entire world if you never noticed this. Because the landmines were a big thing on the train level when it first launched. Like, a lot of people were like, oh, I hate the landmines. And a lot of people were like, oh, I really can't deal with the landmines. And it's the same with the Vietnam levels. And I'll just show, like, since they're still in the Vietnam levels, I'm just going to show you this little bit of tech, this little technique if you will, that will completely just ruin your day and make you go, what? Now, here we are in front of a landmine in Vietnam, right? So, you know you can, like, shoot them as they, like, start going up and you can disable them. But did you know you can also parry them? Like, a lot of people I've made aware of this knowledge, and it literally blew their minds, right? Like, I'm pretty sure if we had that knowledge, the initial patch version of the train level would have been much more doable. Though, to be honest, the thing that was, like, really filtering me with those was the hurdles. But yeah, so you can shoot them, and you can parry them. And you will take no damage, you won't get punished, you won't get nothing. It's that easy. Like, that's all you gotta do. Like, anything that, like, can explode that isn't a laser beam or something can generally be parried. That's something I learned fast with this game. So, yeah. I'll be moving on back to me with the camera. So yeah, those are a couple things that you might not have known when going into Gungrave G.O.R.E, things that might help you getting into the game. Generally, like, I see a lot of people fall into, like, really bad pitfalls with this game. Like, they'll just hold the lock on button the entire time, or, you know, they won't use their tool set enough, and they'll go on to say things like, oh, this game is repetitive, oh, every level feels the same. And it's going to, because you're not using your full kit, right? And you're just dying over and over again, and you're getting tilted, and you're blaming the game. I know, because I've been there before with games. I've done it myself. I'm not innocent with that. Like, I used to do the same. Like, when I played the first Xenoblade, I got really mad at that game because I didn't, like, upgrade anything enough. I got really mad at Devil May Cry back in the day because I didn't go for the right upgrades. Like, it's these sort of things. Like, it's a halfway point because the game doesn't really have solid tutorials, and it doesn't really have anywhere for you to practice. Like, I will say, like, if they had, like, a practice stage or something where you could try out stuff, that would, like, be immensely helpful. But as far as like where the game goes, I still love it a lot. Like, I think this is the best Gungrave has been, and I don't say that lightly. Like, I know a lot of people miss the old art style, and I do too. Like, I do miss the old art style, but when it comes to, like, the gameplay, I think this is where it's peaked, and the gameplay is the most important thing, right? Like, for me personally, like, if I can enjoy a game and get really into the tech and play it over and over again, that's what I'm into Gungrave for. And I do miss the old jazz soundtrack, like, I do, and I do miss, like, the old art style. Like, I think that Grave definitely, like, everything looks a bit really artificial in this game, I will say. Like, especially Quartz, like, she looks like a Barbie doll in gameplay. Like, her face just looks really off. But outside of that, like, it's probably the best Gungrave game you can play. But people really need to look into the tool sets and what the game gives you so you can make it the best experience you can. And I am willing to put out more videos depending on how helpful this is to people. And I probably got a bit rambly, and maybe I was a bit hard to follow at points, and if you think that, please just let me know in the comments below, and I'll try and fix that for my next video. I kind of just wanted to put this out there because I've been seeing a lot of misinformation on the game, and I really want this game to do well. Like, honestly speaking, like, these people, they clearly have a passion for Gungrave, and they're working to make the game better. So I think, like, if this sells well, and, like, people learn the game, they enjoy it, and it gets an even more enjoyable sequel, everybody wins. So I'm just throwing this out there, like, please just give this game a shot. Honestly, it is excellent. I think it's a lot of fun. Like, I think the story's a bit lacking, but it fully makes up for it with the gameplay for me. Honestly, like, I haven't been able to put it down ever since I beat the game on stream last week. So like, that's all I've really got to say. Like, please go try Gungrave, and I hope this video encourages people to give the game another try, and maybe try out some of the little things I told them. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one.